Right. So after you save your file from ProNest LT, you're going to take your zip drive and you're going to put it in the side of this machine and to the USB. And when you do, you'll get a pop-up. Notice that you got that pop-up with the 5x5. You're going to right-click and you're going to copy that. So you can get rid of that now. Just close this out. And you'll have a cut files folder on top of your desktop. You just right-click on that and paste that inside there. All right, and so we called it 5x5 first cut, FC. So when that happens, now what you're going to do is you're going to open up Path Pro. So now your cut file, you have that ready in there. We're going to open up Path Pro. Now I have the machine over here in the center of the table. I shut it down and we're going to go through how to open this up. So we double click on Path Pro. Once you double click on that, you're going to see this little box pop up and you're going to see a little wheel turning. If it just keeps turning, that means it's not communicating with the control board, but usually it takes really quick to come through. Notice everything's red. The machine does not know where it's at. So it needs to be able to reference itself. So I'm going to take the keyboard, which is wireless, and you have the up key right here, which is, and towards you, the down key up and down is Y. And I'm going to go real slow, and then right is X, and left is X. And then page up goes up, and then page down, down. So I'm going to jog it back to the back of the machine, make sure there's nothing around the edges of the machine, make sure you're clear, and you go real slow, just about to this small area here. And what we're going to do is hit on the screen, we're going to run the homing. It says, please run homing, so we're going to run reference all home. And when it does that, the Z goes up and hits a limit switch. The X goes over and hits a limit switch. And it goes back. And touches the Y limit switch. Then it says that it is referenced. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is jog out towards me using the down arrow. I'm hitting the left arrow to go towards the center. Now I can turn my laser pointer on and off by hitting this laser pointer button here. And notice when I do that, it offsets. So the laser pointer works off and offset. So I turn my laser pointer on, and I'm just going to jog it with the up arrow key, and then I'm going to go left. And I'm going to get down right here to the corner of the material. I like to go page down and get kind of close so that I get that light nice and bright there. And I'm going to get right to the edge of the corner, just like we did in VCarve, just like we did in our orientation in ProNest LT. And I'm just going to leave it right there. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit 0x, 0y, 0z. And notice it's all zeroed, except for the Y here. It's on an offset because of the laser pointer, but everything is zeroed. Now I'm going to load G-code. And if you cannot find your job in here, if you cannot find that in here, then you did not load it right. So if you look right here, it says 5x5 first cut in C. So I'm going to click on that. And notice that's the part that we're wanting to cut here. I hit the check box. Boom. And it shows up on the screen. Shows me where the corner of the material is. Notice how everything is lining up with that. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to go over to cut chart now. And I'm going to choose cut chart. And I'm going to tell it, the plasma, what I'm going to cut. All right, and so if you'll notice, it says here at the top, you have best quality, and you go mild steel. I'm cutting mild steel. and I'm looking through, I'm cutting 14 gauge here. So I click on 14 gauge. It gives me one consumable here, and I know I'm doing 45 amp, right? It gives me one consumable. So you want to make sure that you have this part number right here. This is your consumable, right? This is your tip, 428925. You can get these mixed up. There are other consumables out there, like fine tip consumables here. See, notice that this head is a little different on that, and that's for fine tip cutting. And there's also a 45 amp. And if you look on the side of it, that number is on the side of it. So make sure that's connected there, all right? So once you get all that set, we know we're cutting 14 gauge material, and I have my plasma on at the back. I have all green lights, and this automatically sets. Once I hit load, over to down here on the bottom right, and I check mark, I can go ahead and click out of that. Now notice right here, it says right here, I'm cutting 14 gauge, 45 amp, the best quality right here, right? So what I can do is I just want to do a check part fit before I get started. So I'm going to hit check fit, and it's going to do a little trace out to make sure that I have my torch on the material. And that looks great. So now I can come on over and I look and I say, okay, I got 14 gauge. I look on the table, I've got 14 gauge. I see 45 amps. I look over at my plasma. I have all green lights and I'm 45 amps. So now I'm going to hit cycle start. So it's going to start its cut. And if you'll look, it has finished the cut there. So I can take it off the table now and just kind of look at this, knowing that it is hot. Examine what we have. It looks great. That's what I wanted. So that is our first cut. And when you get done, we can jog, use the arrow keys and jog away from us. And you can see the part nice and clean there. And that's your first cut.